Welcome back. I am now with the co-host of At the Buzzer, the IU Sportcom official NBA podcast, Hank. The NBA trade deadline was Thursday at 3 o'clock. Who are some winners of the NBA trade deadline?
Well, before we get into the winners, let's just say, first of all, this trade deadline was absolutely insane. I've never seen a trade deadline happen the way this one happened. There was trade after trade after trade after trade, and one trade didn't even go through. O.J. Mayo was supposed to be a Pacer, but Chris Wallace, who's everybody's favorite general manager, happened with the Pau Gasol trade, sending him to the Lakers for Kwame Brown and so forth. Didn't get the necessary paperwork through by the 3 p.m. deadline. But yeah, let's get into the winners for a second. New Jersey getting Darren Williams after 24 hours of talks compared to 6 months of talks with Carmelo Anthony is a huge plus. I'd rather build my team around Darren Williams than around Carmelo Anthony, to be honest. But the task is going to be getting him to re-sign with that team, getting him to buy into what they have, and Mikhail Prokhorov has a huge task ahead of him to do that because things are surfacing that he doesn't want to re-sign. He's having very, very big skepticism. You have to look at New York and Denver, both as winners. New York got their men that they want, even though they gutted their roster. This win for New York is more of a win for the future than for the present. It's going to take some time, Knicks fans. It's going to take at least a couple years to get your roster back because you lost great players in Danilo Gallinari and Wilson Chandler, who was having a career year. Raymond Felton was almost an all-star this year. And those guys go to Denver, which is, they've been great so far. They killed Boston last night, which was fantastic. Also some other winners, we got Oklahoma City, huge trade for them. They finally got the center that they wanted. Kendrick Perkins, great fit for them. Don't know why Boston traded him, but we'll get into that later. They didn't have to pay Jeff Green anymore. So great trade for them. They are ready to contend now. Also, the Clippers are a winner. They unloaded Baron Davis. Atlanta's a winner. They got Kirk Heinrich, who's a major upgrade over Mike Bibby. And Phoenix is a winner to get Aaron Brooks, which may allow them to exploit trades for Steve Nash over the offseason.
Now, we spoke about some of the winners, and Baron Davis was traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who, let's put it nicely, are not having the greatest season. And
going out on a limb there.
Yeah, and he has a bit of a history with Cavaliers head coach Byron Scott. How do you think the two will get along in Cleveland?
Byron has said that they've kissed and made up, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they have not been together, coach and players, since the days in New Orleans where they did not get along at all. I think it was New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, or Charlotte. I'm sorry, I think it was Charlotte. But, yeah, we'll see how they get along. I can't really say how they get along, but Baron Davis, the first 2 years that he was in LA, gained weight. It was all about the city lights, the shine, the famousness that he was getting, rather than playing basketball. And he started trying a little this year, but right when Eric Gordon got injured, I mean, he had to pick up the workload a little, but his knee is really, really bothering him. That's not helping. I don't understand why Dan Gilbert and the Cavs made this move. It doesn't really make any sense. They take more money. They get an unprotected first-round pick this year, but this draft is not very good. So we'll see that, how that happens.
Now, another loser in the trade deadline, so to speak, are the Boston Celtics.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on what the Celtics did, and are they still the favorite to win the NBA championship?
I'm just confused at why Boston did what they did.
I think a lot of fans are.
Yeah. Kendrick Perkins was a rock. He's arguably the best post interior defender in all of basketball, and he had a great chemistry bond with those Celtics. They never lost a playoff series when they were all healthy together. So I don't understand why they did what they did. Their center rotation's very unhealthy. You have Shaq and Jermaine O'Neal. Are they trying to get somebody from a buyout? Troy Murphy isn't really a center. So I don't really know why they did this. Jeff Green, yeah, he's a good player, but you have Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett. He's really kind of a starter on a mediocre team. He's not really he should be a starter because he wants, I don't know how happy he's going to be because he's in a contract year. He's averaging almost 18 points a game, and he's really a tweener between a 3 and a 4. So I don't know how much he's going to like this trade. Yes, he goes to a contender, but what's his role on this team? I don't really understand what Danny Ainge was thinking. They already had a lot of depth at the 4 with Big Baby, too. So I don't really understand this trade from a basketball perspective when you talk about the Celtics. I thought the Celtics were going to win the NBA championship after the All-Star break. But since they traded Kendrick Perkins, that goes way out the window. I think they honestly, they can make the finals. They will not win the championship without Kendrick Perkins on the roster.
Only time will tell.